George Domban, Digan, Drobat Noni, Sazine, Side, long a la Rumbajan, Denny, Aron Songa, Drobat number, Ni, or Don over the song.
In our root text of Tishas, which summarizes the essence, it continues with the line or with the sentence in which it says, the two kinds of obscurations purified. As we have heard before, if we set out upon this path, which is subdivided into 5 segments, then we proceed from the present state to awakening. And within that 5-fold path are also included the 10 bodhisattva stages, or bodhisattva bhumis as they're known. Now, as we proceed along that path, gradually that which is termed the 2 types of obscurations, veils and obscurations, is being purified. Now, when speaking of the 2 types of obscurations, or the 2 types of veils, they are on the one hand termed as obscurations through emotional defilements, and the other type is called the obscuration that which obscures omniscience. Now, as to the first one, these emotional defilements of whatever sort are that which are basically caused through being unaware of how appearances and phenomena all the way down to our own mind nature truly are. We hold on to all sorts of ideas and concepts and believe them to be real, which in turn gives rise to such defilements as pride, as desire, and so forth. And we're completely unawares of the fact that whatever it is that causes us to react in such a way is inherently empty of any self-nature, of any substance whatsoever. And on the basis of that error, of that being unaware of the true fundamental nature of all of these phenomena, appearances, etc., we give rise to that kind of mistaken behavior. We allow such mistaken notions and ideas to take hold within ourselves. So based on that fundamental error of ours of looking at things as real, as having a substance, as having a self-nature, whereas that is not the case, these emotional defilements and obscurations occur in the first place. Now, how do we go about the purification of these emotional defilements and of the obscurations which they cause? When do we start out? In which way do we start out with this? The entire process is set into motion once we place ourselves under the protection of the Buddha and we start to familiarize ourselves with the teaching that the Buddha has brought into this world, the Dharma. And from then on, whatever activity we perform along these lines, whatever Dharma study or practice we perform, all of these are means towards that end of curing ourselves, of ridding ourselves of these emotional defilements, these veils and obscurations. For the most part, they will be purified once we have reached the stage of the path that is known as the path of seeing. Having come to that particular point, having proceeded through what we've learned before, can also be called the 7 impure bodhisattva bhumis or stages. Having come to that point, we have rid ourselves for the most part of the more coarse defilements, obscurations and emotional defilements.
Sana Denver Tropa dancing to oh, tell he's a Tropa song. That is the Tropa, Tana Tapa Sasa, Kabla Jambu, Sa, Jepa, Goa, Jova, Sonjus and the Sai. That is Satiga, Kabla, and Jupiter, Sonjus and Batamji, that he's a Tropa Jambu.
As to the second type of obscuration, that which prevents us from truly seeing how things are, it is for the most part also caused by that mistaken idea of there being an inherent reality to whatever it is that we perceive, whatever it is that we encounter. On the basis of this, we constantly fall prone to what can be termed as the 3 entanglements. It is that idea that lets us to believe that we ourselves, as the perpetrator of any which deed, are truly existent. The object of the deed is existence, and is existent, and the deed itself is existent as well. Through holding on to that mistaken idea, the true nature of how appearances, etc., phenomena, our own mind nature for that matter, truly are, is being obscured. Now these ever more subtle veils and obscurations, which still prevent us from seeing how things are for real, are then eventually purified during the while we traverse the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th Bodhisattva Bhumi, the so-called pure Bodhisattva Bhumis or stages.
Then Tabaka, Tabla, Choni, Yongso, Zopales, then Miki Sadam, Chodom, Mimi, Chonika, Latan, Yaman Segure. Miki Sananga, Chos, and Kazan, Konzo, Parado, Samba, Chodom, Tatela, Sofa, Yaman Tangi, Miki Sananga, Chod. Mimi, he gets so, then he sent the Hong Kong Sabati. Tati Choni la Dene, then River Crossum, Drabarsa, Sananga Choni la Dene, Tigan River Dala, Sang Jene, then Crossum number then, sending it and Nangoyo.
In Parudos about talking,
Miki Sanam, Tinomida, Jimbato Zappa, Zappa to Zotan, Miki Sanam. Then something don't hear up, so he gets up. Then do the Nikak talk.
So as it says in the text, the 2 obscurations, 2 types of veils and obscurations are purified. How is that being brought about? That's explained in the next slide, in which it says, through the perfection of the 2 accumulations. Now when talking about 2 accumulations, we might wonder which are they. The 2 accumulations are usually taught to be the accumulation of merit and the accumulation of insight or wisdom. In the course of the instructions on the 5-fold paths that also corresponds to the 10 Bodhisattva Bhumis, a couple of days ago we have heard explanations from Rinpoche on the 6 transcendent virtues, which are also known as the 6 paramitas. There we have heard of the parameter or the transcendent virtue of generosity, of proper conduct or discipline, and of patience. Now it is said that while we busy ourselves with the accumulation, with the accumulation of merit, it is these first three parameters or transcendent virtues which are the predominant means to do so. Practicing them individually or in combination are that which brings about this stock of merit, which increases our stock of merit. Then, having accumulated merit, we have to proceed to accumulate, to perfect the other of the two accumulations, which is that of insight or wisdom. And that is being brought about through the various means that allow us to gradually familiarize ourselves with the nature of our very consciousness itself. This familiarization and this accumulation, corresponding accumulation of insight is being brought about through the transcendent virtue of meditative absorption or concentration, and through wisdom or insight or intelligence for that matter itself. Now there is one of these six transcendent virtues missing, which is that of concerted joyful effort or discipline, as it is also often very simply called. Discipline or concerted joyful effort is the transcendent virtue which combines these virtues which accumulate, which bring about the accumulation of merit, and the other ones which bring about the accumulation of insight or understanding. Now, having proceeded to practice in this way, and having in this way rid ourselves of the two obscurations by way of perfecting the two accumulations, the results, or the fruit, as it literally says in the next line of the text, is then the achievement of what is known as the three Buddha bodies, or the three Buddhakayas. So as it says in the last mentioned line, the result of fruition is the achievement or accomplishment of the three Buddha bodies or kayas. You might wonder, what about these three Buddhakayas? What are they? What do they mean? The three Buddhakayas are nothing else but three aspects of fully enlightened, completely achieved Buddhahood itself. The first of them is commonly known as the Dharmakaya, or the suchness body. And it is nothing else but the complete and perfect fruition of the accumulation of insight or wisdom or consciousness, for that matter. Having to perfection fully familiarized ourselves with our own mind nature, with our own consciousness as it truly is, we have completely eradicated even the most subtlest of veils and obscurations, and we constantly rest within the recognition of mind nature without any further obscuration whatsoever. That state of full awakening is usually termed Dharmakaya, and that is the benefit that one brings about for oneself through such practice. Having achieved these three Buddhakayas, then on the basis of the perfection of the accumulation of merit, we also at the same time gain the ability to manifest that Buddhahood, that enlightenment that we have achieved, for the sake of others. And this is usually done by way of the two form kayas, as they are called. The Dharmakaya is formless, it does not take any particular shape, but the benefit for other beings is being manifested in various forms and shapes, and these are known as the Sambhogakaya and the Nirmanakaya. So here we have the three Buddhakayas.
变成那肉跑的时候，当把他第龙形这种之后，他他们还龙的那个。
Rinpoche would like to conclude the teaching for now, and we will continue with further explanations in the afternoon session. So up to now we have heard about the 3 Buddhakayas and that which brings them about. Rinpoche will now proceed to give us 2 further lungs oral transmissions.